Um, I'm now going to introduce Miriam Hawley, who is also one of the founders of the board. Sorry, not founders of the board. One of the founders of Our Bodies Ourselves and a member of the board currently. Bear with me for a second. Miriam has been my partner in putting together this event, and it's been really fun to get to know you and work with you. So let's see. So Miriam, just to say a few words about her, in addition to being a founding member, has a contagious and inspiring commitment to living life fully. As a lifetime activist, author, and business coach, she led the first workshop at Emmanuel College in May 1969. And this is the exact anniversary of that.
Exact day.
The exact day that initiated the work that became Our Bodies Ourselves. So she's a coach. She has the privilege of coaching global women leaders in both the profit and social profit sectors. So without further ado, Miriam Hawley.
Okay, I'm going to sit right here.
You're going to sit. Okay.
I'm going to sit. Can everybody, is this mic working? Can you hear me? Okay. So I'm going to tell you the history of Our Bodies Ourselves in 5 minutes. and here goes. But before I do that, I want to acknowledge David de Bronkart, because this workshop is in existence in my mind because of a conversation he initiated over a year ago and said to me, 1969, he was asking about the history of Our Bodies Ourselves. He said, 1969, aren't you going to do a 50th anniversary workshop? And he held that idea for a while until we put it into existence, so thank you, Dave. So here's my 5-minute history. 50 years ago on this very day in May 1969, I led the first workshop entitled Control of Our Bodies as part of the first feminist women's conference in Boston held at Emmanuel College. So how did this conference come to be? A group of feminists who were focused on different aspects of our empowerment had been talking for a year or more about our experiences as women. Some of us were active in other movements, especially civil rights and anti-war movements. Others were studying self-defense, were active in education, and had created journals and print articles based on our discussions. We started to pay attention to our voices, the voices of women as distinct from that of men. This was happening in small groups all over the country and was the beginning of the feminist women's movement. A friend gave me Simone de Beauvoir's Second Sex, and my eyes opened wide. So how did I, as a person raised in a family committed to social justice, begin to focus on women's health? Here's a bit of my story. I was in my 20s, married with a young child, and had moved to Boston in 1966. As I left Ann Arbor, where I had gone to college and graduate school, I had a final appointment with my OBGYN. He tried to give me a pill. When I asked, "What's in this pill?" he reached over, tapped me on the head, and said, "You don't need to worry your pretty little head." I was outraged. I left his office and arrived in Boston with my "What's in this pill" story. It fueled my personal commitment to only go to respectful medical people. At the workshop, there was a room full of women, each with her doctor's story, and a need for accurate information. At that time in history, it was rare to find a woman doctor, let alone a female OBGYN. When we ended, many women wanted to continue talking together, to hear each other's experiences. We met in each other's homes that summer and chose topics that were important to each of us. You will recognize them from the book's chapters: anatomy, birth control, sexuality, pregnancy, postpartum, violence against women, the healthcare system, and the first gay chapter. In America, they call us dykes. They were topics that were present ones for a group of women in their 20s, some married, some single, some with young children, some just beginning to identify as gay. While we are all well known now, at the time we began, we were a group of ordinary women continuing to learn about our health in order to care for ourselves and our families. A few of us knew each other. We set out to do a course that would include accurate, evidence-based information, women's experiences, and a political analysis of the health system. To this day, continuing to incorporate all three elements makes our work unique and powerful. We created a course which we offered in a lounge at MIT, where I, as a faculty wife, had access to space. I chuckle when I tell you that OBOS began at MIT, and we spoke out loud words like clitoris and masturbation. We mimeographed materials for each session. In time, women requested all the materials, a large pamphlet or book. We raised money, $1,500, which was a lot of money at the time. We negotiated with the New England Free Press, known for publishing radical materials. Initially, they resisted based on their assessment that this women's book was not political. I love that. Eventually, they agreed. Initially, they resisted based on their assessment that this women's book was not political. Eventually, they agreed to publish it, and the first newsprint edition of Women and Their Bodies came out in 1970 for 75 cents, which was reduced to 30 cents. As we took more ownership of our bodies, the title changed to Our Bodies Ourselves. Over 2 years, we sold 250,000 copies by word of mouth. We didn't set out to publish a book that altered the global conversation about reproductive health and sexuality for girls and women, but that's what we did. New York publishers took interest, and we needed a marketing department to get the book wider distribution. We formed a legal entity, the Boston Women's Health Book Collective, and wrote a revolutionary contract with the help of our lawyer, Kathy Allen, that allowed clinics to buy the book at 30% of its cost. I declared at the time we were going to sell 1 million copies, and people laughed at me. I said, you can laugh, and every woman has a body and needs the information in our book. Here we are today, having sold plus over 5 million copies and translated or adapted Our Bodies Ourselves into 31 languages. The English language edition is... The English language edition is still in print, and we are excited by the project of the Center for Women's Health and Human Rights here at Suffolk to develop feminist health information for the web. We are excited by all of you being here today, and especially by younger women and women from all over the world who are interested in this history as they go forth to continue to advocate for accurate reproductive health and sexuality information for girls and women worldwide and the vitality of a feminist health movement.